What's up, guys? Before we get started, I want to welcome you to the 100th video that we have uploaded here on the channel. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support. Now let's get into why you're here. Night number 3, our third stop on the Great American Bash Tour, would take us to Boston. And we would kick off the night with an 8-woman battle royal. Jade, Cargill, Kairi, Sane, McCool, Stacy, Keibler, Carmella, Tamina, and Lyra, Valkyria. And we would round it out with Nia Jax. Now, some of these ladies are in the universe. Some are free agents looking to potentially land a job with either the WWE or WCW. Then you've got the case of McCool and Stacy Keibler, two legends making a special appearance here. And we're going to see these types of appearances all throughout the tour. We saw it in Philly with Beth Phoenix. We saw it in Washington with the return of the Animal, Batista. We get down to the final 3. We see Michelle and Nia working together. Michelle would then eliminate Kairi, and that would leave the final 2 in there. McCool with a big boot sending Nia Jax over the top rope. McCool is the winner. We won't announce anything here, but there will be something special for Michelle a little bit later on in the tour for her picking up this win here in the Battle Royal. Then in match number 2, we had an open challenge. Post Malone issued a challenge to anyone that would accept it, and it would be none other than Boston Connor, part of Pat McAfee's crew. He's from Boston. He answered the challenge. And believe it or not, this actually wasn't a bad match. You saw a lot of athleticism out of Post Malone, and even some athleticism out of Connor. It's a nice little springboard there. Then he got a little excited. Nasty pile driver there from Post as he bust Boston Connor open. Boston Connor keying up the band with some sweet chin music. And he gets Post in his sights. Drops the leg, almost kind of like a curb stomp from the top rope. Hooks the leg, gets the win. Hometown boy does good. Boston Connor was your winner in that one. Then we would have a match for the WWE Women's Championship with two ladies that are very familiar with each other. They have met multiple times over the last few months. Bayley with her first title defense. Remember, she did take the women's title from Shayna Baszler back at Money in the Bank. And here Shayna would get an opportunity to try to win that title back. These two would go back and forth. Obviously, with Shayna, we know you've got to really be careful because at any time she could slap a submission on you. And then if you find yourself on the ground, that's no good either because Shayna has got a hell of a ground game. Bayley, though, would get the victory here. Successful first defense for Bayley. Does a great job here in Boston. And she remains your WWE Women's Champion. Then we would have sort of a special match. The Game Triple H taking on the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Now, I don't think we're ever going to see this match, and I kind of wanted to see it. Obviously, we know the situation now. Cody's the one of the faces of WWE. Triple H, the mind behind the creative. We know, regardless of whatever feelings he may have on how Cody may have handled things while he was away from WWE, I think if this was maybe 10 years ago, I think that would get worked into a story somewhere. We would see this as a WrestleMania match. Obviously, we know Triple H's health situation. He's done in the ring. And I just thought it'd be kind of fun. You know, maybe we should have did like a sledgehammer match or something like that. But again, I think this is a match that we would have seen, and because of the hard stuff that Hunter's got now, I highly doubt that this will ever get in the ring. So I thought it'd be kind of fun. Triple H, a New England guy, we put him in the ring. I think this is actually the first time we've used him in the universe, and it gives Cody a great spot against a premier opponent. Cody would hit the Crossroads, and that would be enough to get the 1, 2, 3. Kind of fun to kind of imagine what a match like this would look like. And in all honesty, that's kind of what this Great American Bash Tour is. It's showcasing the talent that we've got, mixing up some matchups that we wouldn't maybe normally see, and that was one of them right there. Congratulations, Cody. Then we would see the WWE Tag Team Championships on the line. The former champions representing the Bloodline, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, taking on their cousins with their dad, Rikishi, in their corner. Now, if you'll remember correctly, the Tongans came onto the scene. Roman Reigns brought them in to remove the Usos from the Bloodline. We saw at WrestleMania, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa would win the WWE Tag Team titles. The next month at Backlash, they would meet Jimmy and Jay in a steel cage where the Usos would walk out with those titles. They have held those belts for a number of months. And now Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa looking to get their hands back on the gold. It has been a very fruitful time for the Bloodline. Obviously, Roman, WWE World Heavyweight Champion. We've seen the explosion on the scene of Jacob Fatu. And here in Boston, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa once again call themselves champions as they win the WWE Tag Team Championships for the second time. Then we would see another special attraction match. Dirty Dom, accompanied to the ring by Raquel Rodriguez, taking on Pat McAfee. Pat making his debut appearance in the universe. Was a great start to the night earlier when his pal Boston Connor defeated Post Malone. Here, Pat looking to get the victory over Dirty Dom. Let's be honest. Any of us would love to get in the ring with Dom and, smack him around a little bit. We know the pedigree that Dom has. We know the championship success that he's had in our universe. I got to be honest, Pat really held his own in this one for really about as long as he could. He would find himself on the wrong end of a 619 as Dom would blast him in the face and bust him open. Dom would then climb to the top rope, hit a frog splash, hook the leg, and that would be it. Dirty Dom, your winner. Still a great showing from Pat. Just came up a little short here against Dom. Then our next match would take place in the Fight Pit. Two UFC legends, Ken Shamrock taking on Brock Lesnar. Now, the way the Fight Pit works, it's very similar to a MMA contest. The only way you can win is knockout or submission. There are no pinfalls, no escaping the structure. You either got to make your opponent tap or you got to knock him out. And we're in there with two guys who have shown they have both submission and knockout ability from their time in the UFC. Obviously, Brock with a huge size advantage. But Ken Shamrock was the world's most dangerous man for a long time for a reason. Brock here, though, would get a little cocky. Maybe underestimate his opponent a little bit. Look, Brock's got the size advantage, the strength advantage. He's got the youth advantage. And he just knew it was a matter of time before Shamrock was going to tap out, but Ken stayed calm. He found his way out of the hold. Then he would deliver what would end up being the knockout shot. It was simple, but it was way effective. Ken Shamrock proved that he was the ultimate survivor here in the fight pit. Then we would have the WWE European Championship on the line. Local hero Carmelo Hayes coming back, looking to try to win his first championship in the open mic universe, but his hands were full taking on Kevin Owens. I thought it was kind of a nice little tribute, a nice little salute. We know that the Great American Bash was the vision of Dusty Rhodes, so I thought it was kind of neat that KO showed up here for this one in a Dusty shirt. Again, we've seen Hayes. He's been close. He and Trick together as a tag team have really kind of been on more of an upward trend as of late. And he's getting so close to finally realizing some championship success. And he got real close here. And you know, he was looking forward to having a huge victory championship celebration with all of his family and friends in the crowd. But he would unfortunately meet the wrong end of a Kevin Owens stunner. KO would hook the leg and get the victory. Kevin Owens remains your WWE European Champion. Up next, we would see Jacob Fatu go one-on-one with John Cena. Now, when Cena heard that the Great American Bash Tour was going to be rolling through Boston, he said, not only do I need to be on that card, but I want Jacob Fatu in the ring. I want to know if all the hype, if all the talk is legit with this guy. We don't know what we have with Jacob Fatu. He is a wild card. He is supremely talented. He's supremely crazy. We don't know what we're going to get out of him in the future. But when a guy like John Cena wants to see what you're all about, could end up being a night that down the line you look back on as your career progresses. Cena would be able to lock in the STF, and Jacob Fatu would have no choice but to tap out. John Cena, we haven't seen him in a long time in our universe. Great to see him back. Great to see him here in Boston. And great to see him pick up the victory. Then in our main event, we would see LA Knight be the next one up to try to pry the WCW United States Championship away from the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre. And we know Drew McIntyre has been red hot since back in December when he won the United States Championship back at Starrcade. He has met and exceeded every challenge that's been put in front of him. We saw last month, he made very quick work of Cody Rhodes. Back at WrestleMania 2, he easily blew past Big Bronson Reed. And in this one, look, LA Knight, not a slouch. Two-time former WWE Intercontinental Champion. Former WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Former Royal Rumble winner. LA Knight is a guy who steps up in big match situations. And his plan in this one was to walk out of here as the new WCW United States Champion. Unfortunately, though, it would not prove to be his night. And he would get a very unkind introduction to the Claymore. Drew would go for the cover and get the 1-2-3. Drew McIntyre, still your WCW United States Champion. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you don't want to miss what happens next, be sure to subscribe and like. Leave us a comment down below. And get ready, because we'll see you next time in Cleveland.